Have you ever really stopped to think about what our greetings actually mean? A handshake, a nod, a bow. What's behind it all? Well, today we're going to dive into this idea called the architecture of reverence, which comes from some really fascinating work by author Dr. Nayar. He's writing on the blog Tiga has been all about lifelong learning for years, and this piece really gets to the core of why our social gestures can be so powerful and sometimes so very confusing.
And it all kicks off with this just brilliant, super witty quote from a company chairman. "Touch my feet if you must, just don't pull my legs." It's funny, right? But it also perfectly nails that awkward tension between a gesture that's supposed to be genuine respect and one that just feels, well, empty, or maybe even a little bit fake.
And that really leads us to the big question here. Why do we so often exaggerate our greetings? What is it that pushes us past a simple, genuine hello? What's the real motivation behind these over-the-top gestures we see and maybe even do ourselves?
Let's break it down. What's really driving us? Is it just social expectations? What we think we're supposed to do? Is it pressure from our community? Or maybe it's this underlying fear of looking disrespectful if we don't go all out. It makes you wonder if we've kind of lost the art of a simple, heartfelt greeting. These are the questions we really ought to be asking.
Okay, so to figure out where things are getting tangled up today, we kind of have to look back. Traditionally, there were pretty clear rules about respect. It was all built on a very specific, logical hierarchy. There was a real architecture to who you bowed to and, more importantly, why you were bowing.
Let's walk through it. It basically broke down into 3 levels. First, you had respect. This was for your parents, your elders, your teachers. It was a gesture that said, "I value your age and your wisdom." Then you would revere, people who genuinely inspired awe in you. This was a bow to their inner light, their incredible insight. And finally, worship. That was for the divine and the divine only. It was an acknowledgement of something so much bigger than yourself. See? A super clear system with real meaning behind each step.
But fast forward to today, and that clarity, it's pretty much gone. The author argues that in our modern world, these really distinct lines have all gotten blurred, and that's led to a lot of confusion and, honestly, a loss of genuine feeling.
And the difference is pretty stark when you put it side by side. What used to be a clear hierarchy is now just a bunch of blurred lines. That genuine sense of awe has been replaced by what we can only call performative respect. And what was once a personal choice has become, for many, a kind of social compulsion. The meaning is getting lost in the performance.
So what does this performative respect actually look like? Well, the source gives us some really powerful examples. It's when those big public displays of worship feel like something you have to do, not something you feel in your heart. It's when self-proclaimed gurus get treated with the same level of reverence that was once kept only for the divine. The gesture's there, sure, but the authentic feeling behind it, it's missing.
Okay, so if the big problem is that we're losing our authenticity, what's the fix? Well, the good news is the author doesn't just point out the problem. He offers a really simple but powerful way for us to get back to what really matters, a return to being genuine. And the solution is so simple, but it's also really profound. It's all about using the right gesture for the right one. That's it. Don't offer worship where simple respect is what's called for. Don't just put on a show for everyone else. Instead, let your actions actually match what you feel inside.
When we get this right, when we start being authentic, our gestures stop being these empty little performances. They transform into something way more powerful. They become tools for real connection. They start building bridges.
And I absolutely love this closing thought. That's how bridges are built. Between heart and hand, between people, between what we feel and what we show. A genuine gesture, it closes that gap between our inner world and our outer actions. It creates a real, true connection with other people. It's all about alignment.
So, let's really hang on to that core idea, that architecture. Respect for experience, revere for wisdom, and worship for the divine. Just knowing the difference, that's everything. And all of this leaves us with one last, really important question to think about. I want you to take a moment and think about your own greetings, your handshakes, your nods. What bridges are your gestures building? Are they strong? Are they authentic and true? Or are they just for show?